Okay, so we are here on day 2 of the Influencer Conference 2010. Fantastic day so far. I'm sitting here with the wonderful MacDella Cooper. It is an honor and a pleasure to meet you because you are an inspiration and an influence to so many people. You were on a panel today that many were actually looking forward to seeing. We were looking at some of the tweets. Can you first introduce yourself?
Sure.
And tell us where you're from and why you're here.
Sure. My name is MacDella Cooper, and I was born and raised in Liberia, West Africa. I now live here in New York, running the MacDella Cooper Foundation, which is a 501c3 organization that supports orphans and abandoned children in Liberia. And I was invited to be a part of this panel discussion this morning, just about philanthropy and what influence philanthropy uses or tactics to influence our work, I guess, more so.
And just from the panel specifically, what did you take away? Because philanthropy now online is becoming huge. I mean, it's kind of the last, I think, of the Mohicans to really come online and take advantage of the tools. But what are some of the points that were made on the panel that kind of stuck with you or resonated, or that need to be addressed more in the future even?
Yes, there are a lot of different ideas and positions taken with regards to social media and how it help or not so help our work, I guess, if that's a way to put it. And one thing I remember very well was just the invitation of events when we do these charitable initiative or charitable work or events, and how do we use Facebooks and Twitters and everything else to help bring more new audience to our work. Yes. And some of the gals had some really interesting ideas, and I thought, ooh, so because I am one of the old-fashioned ones who really are not. I don't really know how to use and use social media yet. I'm still working on it. Yeah. I'm still, trying to figure out Facebook for one. Okay. But I have an amazing team of young people who help me with that. They've been great. They Twitter, they go on Facebook, they put constant updates. It takes me, I do updates every month.
Which is a year in technology.
Exactly, absolutely. Absolutely. So, but that was one thing I took away, just how we can use the social medias to really just help our work in terms of our events also, to introduce it to a new audience.
And one of the things that I came to learn in what I'm doing is that apparently the statistics are that 90+% of the people who donate to charities actually do it offline, as opposed to online, even though the audience is there. The audience is not in social media. So how that's a big problem. Do you find that that's a problem, trying to engage people and to get them to give online and to reach out on those platforms?
No, actually I don't think it's a problem, because I strongly believe in taking each person at their whatever they have and whatever they can bring to the table. So we do have people who are involved in our organization that write big checks offline. And then we do have the social media followers who are volunteers. They don't necessarily have the big dollars to give, but when we put out the word and say we need volunteers or we need people to go to Liberia to host a Christmas party, we get a lot of young people who want to be a part, who want hands-on. So there's a benefit to the followers we have on Facebook who just are not the big donors, but they do have something more to give, which is the tangible stuff. It's their time, which the big donors may not have to give.
Exactly, and that's a very good point, because in looking at those numbers, I'm sure that wasn't taken into consideration. People give in a number of different ways.
That's right.
That's incredible. I would love to know what influenced you to go down this path. I mean, it's a big undertaking.
Yes. What influenced me was very easy. It was an easy decision to make, as I also mentioned during the panel this morning when I introduced myself. I was born and raised in Liberia. I went through the Civil War. I was lucky to not have gotten raped or killed, for that matter. My father was killed in the war, and so I was lucky enough to migrate to the U.S. and start a new life. I was given a second chance to start a new life, and I had to make something meaningful of it. I could not just take the opportunity that was granted to me and waste my life away. And even though sometimes I was being in New York City, you get easily distracted. And when I started to get distracted, somehow the universe or something within the universe pulled me back.
Wow.
Because no matter where I was, maybe in a downtown nightclub or social party, someone reminded me, oh, MacDella, I know you're from Liberia.
Oh,
here's a New York Times article on Liberia about the refugees going back to going back to Liberia. And so I was constantly reminded. So that's how I got involved, and that's how I got started.
It sounds like it was just naturally your path.
Absolutely.
That's incredible. So then do you think then that adversity creates influencers and people who are innovators, or do you think adversity of all kinds in this world can be so painful, and so is that where we get our most innovative people, our most influential, the ones who move the world?
Absolutely, I agree with that, and that's actually brilliantly put. I think adversity create something within us that stays within our consciousness no matter who we are, what we become. And eventually you'll have these NBA players or these big CEOs of Fortune 1 to 500 companies that when they do decide to give, when they have that power, that influence to give, they go back and give to something that meant something to them. Absolutely. So sometimes people try to shy away from things that pain them, but I think that's our greatest blessing. Taking our pain or things that we went through as a child, maybe some people go through abuse, be it sexual or physical or whatever sort of abuse, and to go in communities or to go into community centers that help children of that particular item or cause. I think it creates a long-lasting relationship to that cause. So you don't just give one time and that's it. So the connection is there, the human connection and the experience, because you want to see a child heal from a sexual abuse or from a burn. A child who got burned in a house. And if you were a child who were burnt, you sort of have that understanding of what that person goes through. So with my situation, I went through a civil war. I saw a lot of my family members get killed. I saw a lot of my neighbors and colleagues get killed. And sometimes in front of us. So, and I saw a lot of children, just starve, and a lot of young girls my age had to be used for sex slaves. So for me to not be able to do something when I had the influence and the power to help them, seriously,
you wouldn't be human.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And your compassion is. Sometimes they say the compassion is sometimes in direct proportion to our suffering. Sometimes when we suffer so much, it brings about. That's incredible. What brought you to the conference? What made you think this was where I need to be to talk about the wedding? Because you're a busy woman, so.
I am. I just somehow become busy, and at the end of the day, I have no idea what I'm doing.
You know what you're doing. It just
all seemed to be.
You get carried on the.
That's right. But I got an invitation from the organizers, and I thought this is so great. Except I didn't think I was cool enough, because I saw this influential conference as a cool people thing. Yeah. And
cool. Are you kidding me?
I thought I have to go and learn what cool is. I have to look cool. I have to be cool. And so, but no. On a serious note, I just thought it was a great idea to bring people together. I mean, the different panels they've had, and people
diverse,
exactly. I love that. And where else can you get that in the world but New York, of course? And so I was quick to jump on board. And when I don't have an extensive knowledge in the social media, so I thought this is a great place to learn. And so I came on board. I'm here to learn. I'm here to absorb, and so it's been a really amazing day.
Oh, it's been amazing for us too, and this is what's made it so wonderful. And thank you for coming out and sharing your experience, and we're humbled by it. And we hope to see you next year, but you're
reachable by a phone call or email.
Really? Okay. Or Facebook if you update more than once a month. Please. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much. You too.
Okay.